All right, so today we're diving into AI. And you guys have sent in some really fascinating stuff like, wow, Stanford lectures, RethinkX, even futurist Tony Seba. But it's a lot, you know. And I think what I'm most curious about is why all the excitement and honestly a little bit of fear too, right? Like this stuff is powerful.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, AI is already everywhere you look. It's in healthcare. It's changing how we work even, but it's changing so fast. That's what's got everyone talking. Huge potential benefits for sure, but we got to be real about the downsides too, right?
Absolutely. And that's what I found so interesting about that ethical frontier of AI article you sent. It's like we're on the verge of this huge tech shift, but which way is it going to go? That's the question.
Yeah, and it's not really about the technology itself, is it? It's about the choices we make because of it.
Yeah.
And those choices matter.
Okay, so let's get into it then. This article mentioned AI could actually make some existing problems worse. What comes to mind there?
We'll take hiring, for example.
Yeah.
Lots of companies use algorithms now to screen resumes, even do interviews. Sounds efficient, right? But what if those algorithms are trained on data that's already biased? Then you're just automating the problem, making things even harder for people who are already disadvantaged.
That's a really good point. And these Stanford lectures you sent, they talked about this too, right? Something about human-centered design.
Yeah, they're all about designing AI systems that put people first. That means focusing on human well-being and empowerment, not just efficiency and profits. AI should be working for us, not the other way around.
So it's more about giving humans better tools than replacing them completely.
Exactly. Like imagine AI that analyzes tons of data spots, patterns we might miss, even makes predictions. But it's still humans making the final call, using that AI insight to make better decisions.
Like having a super smart assistant who gives you the information but lets you decide what to do with it.
That's a great way to put it. Think about medicine. AI can look at medical images, flag potential problems, even recommend treatments. But at the end of the day, it's the doctor using their judgment and the AI's insights to decide what's best for the patient.
That's reassuring to hear. So Stanford's advocating for more of a team effort than, at least for now, humans and AI working together.
Right. But here's where things get really interesting.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that. You always do this right when I think I'm starting to get it. Okay, so we're talking full-on AI revolution then, right? Like everything's about to change. And isn't that what RethinkX is all about? Predicting these huge disruptions.
Exactly. They really look at the big picture. And their AI analysis, well, it's not for the faint of heart. They're predicting some seriously major shifts.
Right.
Like across every industry. Bigger than the internet even.
Whoa, okay, now you've got my attention. Give me the rundown. What kind of shifts are we talking about here?
Well, transportation's a big one. RethinkX says self-driving vehicles are going to completely change how we get around. Cheaper, faster, safer. Sounds great, right? But for people working in those industries, truck drivers, taxi companies, the whole transportation sector, it's going to be a huge adjustment.
Yeah, no kidding. And this isn't like some distant future thing either, is it? This is already starting to happen.
Exactly. We're already seeing self-driving cars being tested everywhere. But it goes way beyond just transportation. Remember Tony Seba?
Oh, yeah. That guy's like a futurist rock star. What's he saying about all this?
He's on the same page as RethinkX in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But he takes it even further. He says AI plus all this other tech like solar power and robotics, it's going to create a whole new era. The age of abundance, he calls it. He thinks it could actually solve some of our biggest problems.
Okay, now that sounds pretty optimistic. Tell me more about this age of abundance thing. What's that all about?
So Seba says, as AI and automation get more advanced, the cost of producing stuff is going to plummet. Like everything, food, energy, even transportation. It could all become incredibly cheap and accessible to everyone. Imagine a world with almost no poverty or hunger. That's what he's picturing.
Wow, that does sound pretty amazing. But I gotta be honest, part of me is still stuck on that whole robots taking our jobs thing. Like, if they can do everything, what happens to us?
It's the big question, isn't it? Both RethinkX and Seba talk about this a lot. They know there are going to be job losses, probably a lot of them. Certain jobs are just going to be automated.
So what's the solution? How do we prepare for that?
Education and retraining are key. We need to be teaching people the skills they'll need in this new economy. Skills that work with AI, not against it.
So not trying to outcode the robots, but focusing on what they can't do, like creativity, problem solving, things like that.
Exactly. Think about jobs that need empathy. Teachers, counselors, artists, musicians, those are things humans will always be better at, even in an AI-driven world.
It's kind of scary though, right? Like what happens when the robots are better than us at all the jobs? That's when things start to feel like a Terminator movie.
Yeah, I get that. It's a question a lot of people are asking.
Yeah.
And it's a valid concern. The technology is moving so fast. What happens when AI gets smarter than us?
Right. Like, at what point is it not even artificial anymore? When it's making its own decisions, its own goals, maybe even competing with us?
It's a big thought, isn't it? And that ethical frontier article you sent, it talked about this. They use the word singularity.
Mm.
Basically, when AI gets so smart, it's beyond our control.
Singularity, huh? I've heard that, but it always seemed kind of sci-fi to me. What does it actually mean, though? Like, practically.
Okay, so imagine an AI that can not only learn and adapt like we've been talking about, but it can also design and create even smarter AI. It's like this loop of intelligence getting faster and faster, and we can't keep up.
Whoa. Okay, yeah, that's getting a little too sci-fi for my liking now. But I see what you mean. If AI gets that smart, it's not about jobs anymore. It's about who knows?
Yeah.
Like, we're totally in uncharted territory there.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important to be having these conversations now, like right now.
Yeah.
We need to think about the ethics not just for 5 or 10 years from now, but 50 or 100.
So what do we do? How can we even prepare for that when AI might be the one calling the shots?
$1 million question. And honestly, I don't have a simple answer for you, but I know one thing. We can't ignore it. We have to be a part of shaping the future of AI, making sure it lines up with what we care about as humans.
That's a good point. It's not like we're powerless. We still get to make choices to influence things.
Totally. And it starts with knowing what's going on. The more we understand AI, the good and the bad, the better choices we can make.
That's what I love about these deep dives. It's not about having all the answers, it's about asking the right questions. And after this one, I feel like I have a much better handle on what's at stake, the challenges and the possibilities.
Me too. And remember, this is just the beginning of the conversation. There's so much more to explore, so many different angles on this.
And that's why I'm so glad you sent over all these amazing resources. So to everyone listening, if you're as fascinated by this stuff as we are, definitely check out those Stanford lectures, the RethinkX reports, and Tony Seba's work. Trust me, you won't regret it. And who knows, maybe you'll be inspired to dive even deeper into AI and help shape the future of it all. Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey.